Young with it. He's taken out by Garland. Pass to Louisiana. There's the drive. That was good. Young with the assist. That's next level vision. Young could probably lead the league in assists if that were his goal. And get the rebound. Now here's Herter. He's closely guarded. Knocks down the long kick. That's Federer's bread and butter, where he shot 42% from beyond the arc in his sophomore year in college. Nice trick. You know, what's amazing to me about Trae Young is his accomplishments early in his career. A statistical feat he's pulled off this early in his career. Wow. You've never seen a young player do what he's done. Young from long range. Dropping back to this. For Cleveland, they've gone 0 for 3 from the floor to begin this one. The paint. Oh, he took a hard foul. Young was the first to have 15 assists and 5 threes multiple times in a season, and was the fastest to 350 made three-pointers season with his mark. Now, of course, those might seem like cherry-picked stats, but Young's beating out some big names early in his career to reach those marks. Here's Louisiana. Right now averaging 6 a game. Here's Herter. Oh, and takes it with the kick. Herter's got 5. Physical D right there, but Herter's mentally tough. Never lost focus. Junior outside. Drummond with the 10. With the flexibility to adjust at the rim, Drummond can catch the pass almost anywhere and still throw it down. Screen by Capella. Young attacking. Doesn't go that time. Garland with the defensive effort. The Cavaliers have gone 1 of 4 to start. From deep, Junior. No good on the shot. The Hawks have gone 3 of 5 shooting so far. It's Herter on the wing. Puts up a 3. Rebounded by Cleveland. They come into this one following a loss to Brooklyn. They failed to create enough good looks. The ball movement just wasn't quite where it needed to be. You know, they take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Exercise and frustration. Here's Reddish. 11 points for him last game against the Bucks in Milwaukee. Pass to Young. It's all in by Junior. That was excellent success, preventing him from making something that's usually automatic. It's stolen. Here's Capella. Count it. 1-1 to start the game. Nice look from Kevin. First quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Now, here's Junior. He didn't look good in that loss to the Nets the other night. Pass to Zivic. Junior outside. Shot clock at 5. The shot. So the Hawks will take it the other way. 1:03 left in the first. Outside Huddle. Pass to Fernando. Here's Memory. Tries a three. It's all in by Junior. There's 37 seconds left in the first quarter here. Takes it in. Kicks it out to Harden. From the arc. And carries his first look. And that's what they want to do. Get him open real thoroughly. Atlanta's gone only 1 of 4 from three-point land. Pass to Fernando. Now here's Hunter. This one's a three. He did it again. Second shot opportunity. Fernando misses. Junior outside. Especially at the start, you want to get something positive going and establish your rhythm. Young with it. Last game, an incredible scoring display for him. They've got Hunter. He's out there with Clint Capella, and it's Reddish in at the small forward position. So that's the Hawks 5. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Young, plenty of space. The wide open shot is on the money. Does a good job of making quick reads and quick decisions off ball screens. Young always looking under control. Now here's Garland. Well, no scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And he opened up to the rim. Against Capella. Drummond with the bucket. Drummond's got 5. Drummond is very active on the offensive glass. This is where he can pile up a lot of points. And here's Young. Drives to the hoop. He Young. 9 points in the game. Back to Jones. And here's Young. Going inside. And it's been basket. Now 5 for 8. Comfortable out there. The threat of Young's jumper forces defenders to play him close, making it easier for him to get by his man. Junior outside. And he lobs it up top.
Gone.
And that one misses. The Hawks have gotten each of their 6 shots to fall here in the second. We've got 1:13 left in the second quarter. For trails it from deep. Young's got 14. Defensively, they've had no answer for him this period, and he continues to stay aggressive. Junior right side. Picked it out of midair. And here's Young. He's got 14. Junior grabs the miss. Junior's got his 4th rebound in this one. We've got 33 seconds left to play in the half. Look at drive. And it's good for 2. Physical defense not in return for Junior. Strong drive and a horrendous finish. Remembering, he's been patient so far. Doesn't he have
Come on.
Turner can't hit. Junior. There's the lob.
Bro.
And out of bounds. The Hawks will have it. Just 4 seconds left in the second period. And the first half comes to an end. We've got a close game going here. Hawks in. Not standing around, not settling for perimeter shots. He's looking to attack. The Hawks leading. On the court for the Cavaliers. Garland and Sexton in the backcourt tandem. Then it's Junior. Then it's Andre Drummond. And it's Nance in at the power forward. Cleveland shooting just around 36%. Not the best execution. Now here's Junior. He's averaging more than 12 a game. Consistent threat on offense. Down low. Drummond. Yes. And Junior picking up the assist. Drummond's got 10 points. Wonderful job moving the rock. Junior's willingness to work into his open teammates is fantastic. It's stolen by Drummond. Pass to Garland. Junior with it. Oh, there's the alley. And Nance with the slam. Because of Junior's elite understanding of the game, he's able to effectively attack different defensive coverages. And that one's good. Young. 16 points for him. Probably a play they grew up in the locker room at that. Listen, put the ball in the hands of your best scorers and let them go to work. Keep it simple. This is the shot you want to give him. An open look from range. Grant Darius Garland, a young scoring guard. This team thinks he can be a fantastic shooter. You know, he does a great job of getting his shooting skills to the hoop, even while on the move. I mean, he could be a deadly find out here from our reporter, Allie LaForce. John Collins grew up in the military. His parents both served for decades. He said, quote, there were a lot of guidelines and regulations. Safety discipline. And one thing the military shows you is that you're fighting for something bigger than yourself. I think that translates on the court. Guys, valuable stuff. I think so too. Thanks a lot, Allie. Good stuff there. And here are the Cavaliers now. After the Hawks picking up a basket just moments ago. I like that Drummond has become more in control of his offensive game, and the defense is running out of answers. It's stolen by Drummond. Junior outside. Pass to Garland. Back to Junior. Now Drummond. Clock at 6. Junior outside. This for the tie. No good. And Atlanta will go the other way with it. Second half here, and we're just over 3.5 minutes into it. It's ready. And a miss there on the triple. This has been a close game in a lot of ways, but they do have an edge on the board. And it's out of bounds. The Cavaliers able to retain possession. The Cavs trailing. Clint Capella out there with Scala VCR. Then it's Trae Young. Then it's DeAndre Hunter. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. Junior outside. 6 to shoot. And the chance by Drummond. That's now Peter Drummond. He's like a dancing bear out there. Nice roll off the kick. Hunter. Back there. Coming off an assist from Young. Young's got 3 assists tonight. That's a clutch shot by a big-time shooter. And where's the D? Now here's Junior. Back again. Kicks it out to Hardaway. It's stolen by Hunter. And here's Young. Pass to Capella. Now here's Young. Check by Sexton. Young with the bucket. And it's a 6-point Hawks lead. The charisma, the superhuman workload. Trae Young is built for stardom. Outside Sexton. On the wing, Junior. Pass to the post. With the slam. And now that's a momentum builder for sure. So important. Look at his teammates here. They love it. Plays like that gonna get them going. They're bringing the energy up with the fight, but they also didn't give up on that possession. There's a screen. And he's going for the lob. And it's out of bounds for the Cavaliers. Easily retaining the ball. Garland. And there's a whistle. Hawks lead by 11. This is what winning is all about. Playing your best when it matters most. It's called killer instinct. It's one thing to be close at the end. It's another to finish. Now here's Junior. At the shoot. And he's going for the oop here. Upside down. Atlanta easily grabbing this one, even early on.
Case, and they bring their music up. They should. Y'all been calling the feds Fed TV the last 10 years, but y'all still jump y'all ass over there. So who to blame?
That's what Charlemagne and God was saying. They asked him yesterday about it, and he said the people are stupid for blaming Vlad because Vlad's just a journalist. He's asking questions. He said that they should know not to talk about, especially if they're involved, but even if they did it in the past, these rappers should know not to be discussing that on his platform. But in one breath, I understand that too, but I'm like, damn, why are you asking questions like that? Like, why you want to know how many kilos somebody sold? Why you want to know about somebody, being a gangster or drug dealer? Or I don't get it, man. That's not the type of questions that we ask over here. So, but what's your opinion?
But that's because y'all melanated brothers and y'all know how to move and think, and you know not to ask nobody.
Yo. It's bullshit. Ah! Fucking bang on it. That's the good.
David Njoku was really more active last week. What did you see that would open things up for him?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of how the game played out. I mean, he's done a great job these last couple of weeks of really embracing his role and going out and playing at a high level. So it was good to see him make a couple plays with the ball in his hand, and he's really come on strong here these last couple of weeks.
Hey, Coach. First of all, congratulations on the baby. I wanted to ask you about Harrison Bryant and kind of how he's come along. I know he had a couple fumbles, in some games earlier. But how do you think he's progressed this season?
I've been really pleased with kind of how his year is going. I mean, he's taken on a lot of different roles, especially with Hoop missing some games from the appendectomy, Dave missing some games early in the season, to jump in at multiple spots on a moment's notice, play a lot of snaps in this offense and do it at a really high level. Been really pleased with kind of not only the production, but the growth that we've seen from him as a player as he's gotten more and more reps. I think he's doing a great job.
And then I wanted to go back to when Callie filled in for you. How valuable has she been to the staff?
Is she going to see this?
I don't know.
She's been awesome. You cannot, there's no words to express, I think, what she means to this organization, to our staff, and to me individually. I mean, she's been great to work with. Really, really impressive in terms of the way she attacks her job and really how much she does. I mean, she has her hand in every aspect of our organization, and for to have somebody like that to rely on when, hey, there's a lot of reasons in 2020 that you can miss a game or miss a practice, and to have someone like her in the building is it's very reassuring. She's done an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jake Trotter, you're next.
Hey, Drew, congratulations. I was going to ask you about Callie as well. Did you talk to some of the guys about how that game went? What kind of reviews did you get on for taking you as an assistant coach during a game? And did you think that's something that she could do in time, that she has the capacity to be an assistant coach and kind of be a trailblazer in that regard?
Oh, yeah. I was a little nervous about being falling picked, to be perfectly honest. I'm just glad they let me back into my own job. But no, it was great. Obviously when everything kind of happened quickly there, which you can, I wasn't nervous at all. And I know just talking to the guys in the room, they didn't miss a beat. And they felt like things were basically as they would be normally. Talking to them after the game, kind of the same reaction. Her composure, her ability to adapt and to attack any job, it showed up in every way possible, I think, throughout those couple of days there during the Jackson.
What is the one thing that impresses you the most working with her this year?
I think it is kind of what I said a second ago, to have your hand in so many different aspects of an organization, coaching, operations, logistics, equipment, and to be someone that I know Kevin relies heavily on, that the coaches rely heavily on, that the players rely heavily on, to wear all those hats and do it with her composure and at such a high level, I think is really unique and speaks to her ability and reason why she's in that role and why she's so valuable to the organization.
Thanks. Thank you, Jake. Next is Scott Patrick.
Hey, Drew. I want to ask you about the Giants D-line. I know you guys are part of the, obviously the blocking scheme, and just how formidable is that front for the year?
It's a really good front. I mean, aside from just the raw talent and the raw size of the front, it's a really well-coached group, and I think you see that on tape in terms of the way they play multiple fronts and multiple defenses, and the linebackers in terms of how they fit everything. It's clearly very well organized, very well run, and I think they played at a really high level. It's going to be a big challenge for us this week.
And, without Austin last week, I know you guys still do the 3 tight ends. Just how much change goes into that when you're missing your number 1 guy late in the week like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always hard when you lose a guy of Austin's caliber to kind of just say, hey, we're going to go business as usual. But to the same token, we feel really good about 4 guys in that room, which I think is unique. So I think maybe us more than maybe some other teams, and I'm not going to speak for other people's roster, we still feel like, hey, if this is the game plan, that whether it's Carlson jumping in or Njoku or Harrison, that we can really run our offense how we designed it through the course of the week. And I think you saw that on Monday night, which was good to see.
Thanks. Thank you, Scott. We'll go to Anthony Posal.
Hey, Coach, we've heard from players and coaches all year about how strong the offensive line is played, but how much do you think your group has contributed to that blocking success as well? I mean, we know how important all three of them are. And then David, Harrison, and Steven, like you just mentioned, have stepped in as well. I mean, how impressed have you been with their contributions from a blocking standpoint?
Yeah, it's been a huge point of emphasis for us. I mean, you date back to April, May, June. We knew that was going to be a big part of our role as a group, and I know those guys really embraced that from the get-go. So we take a lot of pride in it. And I think when we hear those conversations about our offensive line and our run game, we personally take a lot of pride because we do feel like we're a big part of that. And we've had some tough matchups, and I think those guys have handled it really well. So it's been fun to watch.
All right, folks, it's another edition of the Fifth Third Hot Seat. Today we're going to get to know B.J. Goodson, a fifth third better. 53 seconds are on the clock. Rapid fire. Here we go. Xbox or PlayStation? If you weren't a professional football player, what would you be?
Working at a desktop.
All right, if you could take one of your teammates with you to a deserted island, only one, who would you take? Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
If you were a food, what type of food would you be?
Sweet potato.
I like that. Favorite sports movie of all time?
Probably love basketball.
All right, favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Spiders or snakes?
Spiders.
Last book you read?
Kobe Bryant.
All right, and there it is. We now know as the C. You hear that sound? That is the buzzer. We now know B.J. Goodson, a fifth third better. B.J., thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We are teaming up with Fifth Third Bank to tackle debt. For your chance to win up to $28,000.
Chris, I'm going to ask about Olivier Vernon. How have you seen him improve over the last few weeks, especially it seems since Miles had that COVID situation?
Yeah, I think the thing with Obi, I mean, he's been pretty consistent the whole season. I think his opportunities have just obviously come more, when Miles was missing time. And then, the other night he got 2 more sacks and whatnot. But overall, not just about the sacks. I think he's been pretty consistent play. He's been one of our best edge setters in a run, which is what it all starts with for us up front. And then, pass rush, he's a power rusher. He's got great upper body strength, and he walks guys back a lot. So I'm just happy to see him have success.
Thank you, Jeff.
Coach, where do you kind of assess where Miles is at in terms of coming back?
the absence and the illness, and it would, I guess, kind of be normal or to be expected if he wasn't quite himself. Do you think that's kind of what's going on with him still? He's still working his way back to football?
Yeah, I think Miles is still playing at a high level. Whether or not the stats were there the other night that we want to see, I still think that Miles is himself. He's playing good, and I think for anybody who goes through that sickness and miss 2 weeks and really not doing anything, to come back and work himself back into it. So they talk about in this game, you take a week off, it's really hard. So I think he's just fine. Very excited to see him get back out there Sunday night. He's screaming about it, and he's ready to roll.
You kind of check in with him, daily when you guys get to practice about, what kind of progress he might be feeling, or do you kind of just skip at it?
Yeah, it's at practice, he's flying around, he's rushing, his legs look great. So I don't sense anything wrong with Miles. I think he's ready to roll. Like I said, in my mind, he's still playing very good football.
We'll go to Mary Kay.
Hey, Coach, just wondering, what it's like for you guys to be sort of, still this late in the week, and you don't know if you're preparing for Daniel or Colt, and so I guess what do you think about both guys, and how's that prep going for you?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes, obviously, you go through that in every year. After guys don't know who's going to start. Obviously, 2020, with their building being closed yesterday.
Come on.
Adds another element to it. So, yeah, we're very eager to know what we're facing. We're preparing for both. We're preparing for Daniel Jones to be able to run. Where last week he wasn't able to run with his injury. So, you have to prepare for everything. You never know what you're going to get. Obviously, for us, Colt versus the Seahawks, and you evaluate that film. So we look at everything as a coaching staff. We feel like we have a great plan no matter who we face.
Oh.
But it's all going to start with the run for those guys. So that's what it's going to be, regardless of who the quarterback is. Coming out trying to establish that run, that's what they've shown their identity to be. So we're ready to stop that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We'll go to Scott Patrick.
Hey, Coach, I know how tough it is with Lamar just to stop him in general. But when you watch the film of that, how did you think you guys did as far as keeping the discipline in the gaps?
Yeah, it's just remember the negative ones. One where you can get it done. Coaches do, players do, media does. So, unfortunately, we had 4 sacks. We felt like we got after him at times, but the ones where he got you, it stings. And nothing we can do about it at this point. Learn from it, as we always do. Moving forward, we've got a big challenge ahead of us here in 48 hours, so we're excited about this opportunity.
And with Miles back to health, and it looks like Obi and Adrian are healthy after early in the year, do you feel like your line's best ball is still in front of them?
I don't know if I'd say our best ball's still in front of us. I think for everybody, it's always a progressive thing throughout the season. It's always great when we have our top 8 healthy, which we're going on 2 weeks in a row now. Having all 8 guys available. So I love our group. I feel confident in our group. We can mix and match a bunch of different ways. I feel like we're a strength for us. So whether or not we're playing our best ball, I don't know that. But I do know that I feel very confident going into any matchup with this group of guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Coach, it kind of jumps out. You see the Giants were sacked 8 times against the Cardinals. Like you mentioned earlier, Daniel Jones was really unable to run. So you see a lot of opportunity there. You talk at most of his injury. How do you view the matchup and the opportunities?
Yeah, I think, they have a young offense tackle who's going through some rookie growing pains. I think that's part of it. I think that they were playing down through a couple scores. I think that goes into it. And Arizona obviously did a great job of executing. They ran a bunch of stunts, they ran some pressures, and then Daniel Jones being hobbled. It was a combination of things, but I think we're very capable of having that type of day if we do what we're supposed to. So we're excited about that. My guys saw the film. They're ready to roll, but we know we have to earn the right to rush the passer this week more than any week we've had all year. So we got to stop the run first, make it our type of game, and then see how the game unfolds from there.
Thank you, Nate. Do we have anything else for Coach K? Take one more from Scott Petcher.
Oh, come on.
Sheldon Bing for you.
How'd you miss that?
And I'm also curious, what's he like in the Zoom meeting? It seems like he's got a lot of personality. Does that show up in the daily Zoom?
No way, dude.
I'll answer the second part of your question first, because it was a long virtual off season, and I never got to meet the guys before we started that meeting. So before we started that off season, so we go through the virtual days, and it was just, as a coach, you kind of like when you're in the room and guys are joking around every now and then, and the mood is light. Like on Zoom, they were all muted the entire off season. It was so frustrating for me. I had to tell these guys, you got to treat this like a meeting room. So of course, 98 was the first one to speak up, unmute himself, and crack a joke or whatnot. But he's a character. He's a lot of fun, big personality, gets the guys going. When Sheldon's happy, everybody's happy. So, and then he's played very well. He's always around the ball. He gives great effort. He's got great awareness of rushing the passer. And that's why you see him getting a bunch of half a sacks, because he's coming around the corner at the right time, or he's diving in at the right time. But he's a valuable piece for us.
All right, we're joined by Browns defensive end Olivier Vernon, and OV, it's obviously a tough loss that you guys had against the Ravens on Monday night, but how do you quickly bounce back and get focused for another primetime game?
Yeah, I've never been a part of a game like that, so it was not what everybody expected. But, at the end of the day, it was a good team. It was basically a playoff game. And, got to give credit to them. They finished, and we didn't. But, at the end of the day, you just got to assess what you did wrong, what you could fix, and then just capitalize on that. And, now just start all over, go to New York, and get things back on the road again.
What was it like getting Miles back out there, and how good is it to see this kind of veteran defensive line all out there and really has been helping for most of the season?
Man, it's big, especially on this stretch of the season. Getting into December football, you need as many guys healthy as you can. So, having Miles back, we missed him for that short amount of time that he was out, and we're just glad that we have everybody that's healthy or coming back. Denzel hopefully could be back this week, and just keep stacking it from there, and just keep building our chemistry, and everything's gonna play off of that.
And how much confidence does it give the defense with the way the offense is playing right now and the amount of points that they've been scoring?
They're doing a phenomenal job. As far as what they have, what they're being able to put together. You can see them. They're playing as a unit, and they're giving us as a defense a lot more breathing time on the sideline. And as a defense, that's what you want. And as a football team, that's what you want. As far as everybody playing together and playing off each other. All we can do right now is just get closer and closer to playing that tight knit, all phases of the game type of football. And we've come a long way from the beginning of the year. Now it's all about finishing strong.
All right, OB, thank you so much, and good luck on Sunday night.
All right, thank you.
We're going to take a look at two of those touchdowns in this week's play breakdown presented by Microsoft Surface. And we're going to start with 4th and 4 at the 21. This was a critical play in the game. It's one you had to have The Browns come out with a bunch formation to the left, and it certainly seems that's where Baker wants to go. Now, the Ravens initially show those two high safeties, but they're going to play a cover one robber. That safety on the right is going to drop down and cover the middle of the field. Baker looks there, it's not there, and then he does what he does best, finds his guy, Joe, Hollywood Higgins.
Yeah, watching this play, it really shows the growth that Baker Mayfield has had this season. Finding time in the pocket. His first receiver is taken away by what the Ravens do schematically with that robber dropping down, trying to take away all those in-breaking routes from Jarvis Landry. But what does Baker Mayfield do? He doesn't panic. He buys a little bit of time with his feet. He finds the opening in the open space in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and then he finds his old reliable target, Hollywood Higgins, who does a great job with the scramble drill, finding some green grass in the end zone, making himself available for his quarterback, and then you see the result. It's an easy pitch and catch. Great job by everybody, understanding the progression of this play and understanding if they take away your first option, don't panic. Just go to your second and third option. Fall back on the practice that you've had all season long. Great job by the Browns executing.
Let's go on to play number 2 now. The Browns here at about the 7-yard line. Got a bunch formation to the left side of your screen. Looks like you're going to run a little wide zone left, but sometimes things don't work the way you draw them up on the chalkboard, do they, Joe? And sometimes you just need a special talent like Nick Chubb.
Yeah, exactly. This is outside zone to the Browns' left. And you've got your big 3 tight ends over there, and they're going to be working in combination to block the 3 most dangerous defenders to the left. But as it's drawn up on the whiteboard, it doesn't always turn out on the field on Monday nights because you see Steve Carlson on the front side of this play. There's some confusion as to who he's double teaming in combination with, and he allows Matthew Judon to go scot-free into the Browns' backfield and beat Nick Chubb shortly after Nick takes the handoff. And if you see this picture, 31 out of 32 NFL running backs are getting tackled for a -yard run or maybe hoping to get back to the line of scrimmage, but this is just why Nick Chubb is so special. He's able to put the brakes on with the defender in his face way before he should be able to have to make a cut. He puts his feet in the ground. He cuts up and into the defense, finds a little hole in the backside, and turns what will be potentially the worst play of the game at the worst time of the game into a touchdown for the Browns.
Big-time players make big-time plays, and as Coach Stefanski will say, it's the players who make the coach right, and in this case, it was Nick Chubb, to the delight of many at First Energy Stadium.
Oh, come on.
Nathan Segura here with the 2-minute drill brought to you by University Hospitals. It's a big one coming up. Sunday Night Football, the Browns' second straight game in prime time as they come off of a heartbreaking loss in what many people are calling the game of the year against the Baltimore Ravens, that 47-42 shootout on Monday Night Football. The Browns sit at 9-4, still the 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture, the top wild card. The Giants are 5-8, and like the Browns, they are coming off of a loss in Week 14. Also like the Browns, the Giants had won their 4 games prior to that. The Giants at 5-8 are still in the NFC East divisional title picture, believe it or not. The Browns, they want to handle their business, and Kevin Stefanski is treated this week just like he's treated every week coming off the team's 9 wins. And that consistency, according to the players I've talked to, has gone a long way to their preparation, looking to go 1-0 on Sunday Night Football again against the Giants. A lot of familiar faces in this one. We know Freddie Kitchens will be calling the plays for the Giants. Olivier Vernon was traded to the Browns from the Giants. B.J. Goodson was drafted by the Giants. And for the Giants, you have Zeitler and Peppers, who went in the Vernon-Beckham trade. You've got Jamal Sheard, who spent a lot of time here as well. And it looks like Colt McCoy, the former Browns quarterback, could be starting for the Giants. For the Browns in this one, it's simple. Just do your job. Act accordingly, as they say. Win the turnover battle. The Browns will win this game. And all 4 of the Browns' losses this year, they lost the turnover battle. You look at the Giants, their 4-game winning streak built on the strength of their defense. They were +8 in the turnover margin. +8 in those 4 games. They've given up just 16 points a game. They won all 4. Last week against the Arizona Cardinals, -3 in the turnover department, and they lost by 19 points. This is a strength-versus-strength matchup. The Browns' offense as good as any in the NFL right now. In fact, over the last 3 weeks, the Browns are second in the NFL in scoring at 36.7 points per game and second in the NFL with 470 yards of offense per game. Baker Mayfield has been sensational. Look for Baker and Chubb and Hunt. Those two combined for 4 touchdowns a week ago, along with the receiving corps. Hollywood Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, the great Jarvis Landry. Look for the Browns to come out explosive on offense, because if the Browns get the lead at halftime, the Browns will win. Browns 8-0 when leading at the break. As for the Giants, I talked about their defense. It has been excellent. They've got Leonard Williams up front, but they will be without James Bradbury, a key corner. In fact, he leads the NFL with 17 passes defense so far this season. That's a big loss for them. As I said, the Browns get turnovers, they will race out to the lead, and they will win this very important game and get to 10-4 on the season. We'll have full coverage for you beginning at 11 a.m. on Browns Countdown on News 5, and not to mention full coverage on the Browns website and the Browns mobile app. It is a big one. Back in prime time, the Browns an opportunity to make a big statement in the biggest city in the world and get to 10-4, help solidify their playoff positioning going into Week 16. I'm Nathan Segura. This has been last week, as part of the Browns' annual 10 Days of Giving, the Cleveland Browns and College Now Greater Cleveland's partnership for the Marion Motley Scholarship awarded 2 Cleveland Metropolitan School District scholars $10,000 to put towards their college education. The Marion Motley Scholarship provides an opportunity for Northeast Ohio high school seniors to pursue their dreams of receiving a college education.
Marion Motley was a person who overcame diversity and a person who fought for diversity and inclusion. And this scholarship means a lot to me because it helps me personally, because I want to also fight for diversity and inclusion. And this scholarship helps me relieve some of the financial burden that college comes with. So it really helps me and creates a path for me for my career and for my future.
This scholarship means so much to me because it's one of the achievements that I've accomplished so far in my lifetime. And being around a low-income community, I don't really see much motivation of people accomplishing their goals. So just knowing that I'm accomplishing my small goals is going to give me much motivation for my larger ones.
Real.
I know you guys have the injury report. We're going to rule out Anderson Dejo. He has not cleared the concussion protocol just yet. And then Wyatt Teller wasn't able to practice this week, so he's really week to week with his injury. I'll take any questions. We had a good week of practice, good day in there in the indoor, and ready to roll. But I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you, Coach. The first question will be from Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Kevin, is David Njoku looks like a new injury. What's going on with him?
Yeah, precautionary, held him out, but I'm optimistic that he'll be out there Sunday night.
Okay, and then what about the other guys that you got back this week? Denzel Ward, MR.OHYDRO. How do you feel about them? Do you expect them to play Sunday?
Yeah, I feel good about those guys.
Thank you, Nate. Scott Petrick will be next.
Hey, Kevin, a couple more injury things. Wait, J.C. Treader was not injury related. Is he expected to be okay Sunday?
Yes.
Okay, and when you say why it's week to week, it kind of makes me think high ankle. Is that what it is?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, Scott, but he's week to week.
But not an IR situation?
He's week to week.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Next is Daryl Ryder.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you about Myles Garrett and what you've seen from him, coming back. Does he look like the guy he was prior to COVID?
Yeah, he does to me. I think he's the more he gets away from that, gets his wind back, and all those things, I think he's looked better and better. So he's had a good week of practice.
And then also wanted to ask about the Giants running back, Gallman. He's a guy who's averaging around 4 yards a carry. What do you see from him on film, and just what kind of a problem does he pose for the defense?
Yeah, a really good player. I think he's second in the league in yards after contact behind Nick Chubb. He's always moving forward, has a great understanding of their run schemes, where the ball goes. He doesn't miss many reads. I think he's a really good football player.
Thank you, Daryl. We'll go to Tony Grossi.
All right, Kevin, this is the second game in a row where your opponent is really in a little bit more desperate situation based on their playoff situation. You said you know Joe Judge. He comes across as conservative, no nonsense. Is it within his character to do something tricky on special teams or offense, given a desperate situation?
Yeah, Tony, I think it's two desperate football teams. I think it's two second-place teams in their division, two teams that have won 4 of the last 5. We're going to play like we're the desperate team. As it relates to trick plays, that we work on those each week, whether it's special teams, offense, defense, things that we think they may do to prepare for ourselves. And that's really an every week thing.
Do you think a head coach who's come up through primarily special teams ranks like Joe is more agreeable to do something on special teams that might alter a game?
It's a good question. I don't know. I do know was outstanding as a special teams coordinator, so it's no surprise that they're real good on special teams. But in terms, does that make them more likely to run a trick play? I don't really know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. We'll go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin, you just mentioned the Giants' run game, and we talked to Chris Kiffin. He said that's where the defensive approach has to start. So how important is it for your defense to be maybe more consistent from a run defense perspective? So great against Tennessee and gave up some yards to Baltimore.
I think we're just looking at the challenge this week, Scott, and they do a nice job. We put 3 tight ends out there. They're running the ball. They're running it. It's downhill. It's double teams. Then they'll pull a guard. It presents some issues to your run fits. So we got to be on point how we attack blocks, on point about how we fit our gaps, because this is a very, very good run attempt.
Thanks. Thank you, Scott. Jake Trotter will have our next question.
Yeah, Kevin, Jarvis was pretty heated yesterday talking about Marcus Peters appearing to spit on him during the Monday night game. Peters denied it. Harbaugh said Marcus would never do that earlier today. Do you have any comment on the whole situation?
I don't.
Thank you, Jake. We'll go back to Daryl Ryder.
A little bit of an aside question here, Kevin. I wanted to ask you about Pro Bowl voting. If I remember correctly, today's the day that you get to vote for Pro Bowl. Is this your first time getting to do that?
No, I mean, as a coach, you typically get together with the offensive and defensive staff, and you sit down and you talk about each one of the positions. So that's something that our offensive and defensive coaches did in their meetings this week. It's an important meeting because this is important to these guys. A lot of them have earned it. You want to give it its proper due and talk about the players. We have intimate knowledge of some of the guys that give us trouble over the course of the season.
So I'm guessing you just went straight Browns up and down the ballot, right?
Can you vote for your guys? AJB, can you? No, you can't do that.
Thanks, Daryl. We'll go to Mary Kay Cabot.
What kind of cornerback? What kind of cornerback is James Bradbury? And you guys know what it feels like to be without Denzel for these past 3 weeks. So can you just talk about what he meant to them as a team and what this means for you guys now?
Yeah, he's a good player, Mary Kay. I will tell you, they have a bunch of good corners. I really think that they'll. He's a good player, so I don't want to make it seem like they won't miss him, because we know that feeling, like you said, but we know the challenge that this entire defense presents to us. Bradbury in particular, I have a ton of respect for. Makes plays on the ball, long, plays within the scheme, good in man, really good in zone, visual on the cue. He's doing a nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Tony Grossi, you're up.
Hey, I apologize for looking back to Monday, but I didn't have a chance to ask you, but did you give any consideration to calling timeout before Tucker's last field goal?
It's hard to go all the way back there, Tony. I can't remember.
Oh, come on. It was only the biggest play of that game.
On to New York.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Scott Petrick, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, have you seen enough from Tedrick Thompson to think that he can fit in that safety rotation without Andrew?
Yes, I've seen enough. I think he's a veteran, smart, understands what we're doing, so we'll see if he gets in there Sunday night.
And I know we've asked you about Chris Hubbard filling in for Wyatt before, but just what kind of comfort level is there having him already with experience doing that this year?
Yeah, he's done it really at the tackle position, at the guard position, with reps, without reps, so he's proven to be very valuable to us. Works very hard. He's a great teammate, so looking forward to him performing well.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. To Nate Ulrich.
Just following up on that, Kevin, I was going to ask you about Red Wine. Is he going to start, and what's his readiness for an expanded role?
Yes, he will start. I think you've seen times where Shoulders made big plays for us this season. We're counting on him. He's got to prove in the scheme, just like the other 11 guys.
Miles, to get started here, what do you think about going against Freddie Kitchens while he's going to be calling the plays against you guys on defense?
I go against Freddie Kitchens. I'm going against the offensive line, the quarterback, and everybody else they have on the offense. You know, I'm not having a personal battle with them. That's up for coaches to go against coaches, players to go against players.
What do you think about Joe Woods going against Freddie Kitchens?
I don't think Joe Woods has any personal involvement with that. I don't think he has anything other than winning the game on his mind. It's just the Browns versus Giants.
Do you think Freddie knowing you guys, I think it's like 9 of the 11 defensive starters were here last year. Do you think that helps Freddie at all, or is that just a moot point?
I think he should just worry about his guys. I'm not expecting this to be the same as we were last.
Thank you, Nate. Marla Ridenour, you're up next.
There we go.
Yeah, Miles. I just want to ask you about how you're feeling this week. I mean, Nate talked to Rodney Harrison. He thought you were still feeling the effects of COVID on Monday. Do you feel like you're getting your wind back now?
I'm trying. Still doing breathing treatments and still doing conditioning on my own. But I'm feeling better each day.
I mean, did you think you were far from your real self against the Ravens? I mean, any idea where you are in this?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for me to feel really 100 with my win. Physically speaking, strength-wise, I feel normal. It's just about trying not to gas out too early and trying to pace myself, knowing that it can jump on me really quickly.
And I wanted to ask about your elbow. I mean, obviously you didn't miss very many snaps, but was that just almost like a stinger thing, or what happened there?
Went to dive on the halfback as he was going down, and I think Fluker grabbed me and tried to torque me as I was going down. I kind of fell down on my arm wrong, and I was trying to get it out of there before it snapped. It wasn't in a good position, but I was able to move it out the way, and it kind of got hyperextended while I was going down, but I was able to just put the brace on and make through it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. Daryl Ryder is next.
Hey, Miles, with Daniel Jones officially questionable, it's unclear who's actually going to start at quarterback, either him or Colt McCoy. From your perspective, does it matter who the quarterback is? Do you change your approach based on who's under center?
Absolutely. Me and Cole have the same financial advisor, and if he's under center, I'm gonna make sure to bust his ass and tell Mr. Oster about it.
Gonna make him earn his money?
Absolutely, every cent of it.
And then the Giants' run game. What do you see from it on film? And their running back Wayne Gallman, He's averaging around 4 yards a carry. I think he's up among the league leaders in yards after contact. What do you say?
I think they're underrated. They won last 4 of their 5, and they're turning it on at the right time. So they have a solid run game. That's what they want to do. They want to establish that, and then pick you apart a little bit. When you try to center everything you have to stop the run, and they have some talented offensive linemen as well as a talented back. They're missing Saquon, and that's a crucial part of the offense. They still got a lot of limit.
Thank you, Daryl. We'll go back to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Miles. We haven't talked to Olivier this week. It's kind of flown under the radar a little bit with all a ton of storylines going on for a primetime game. But he's going back to MetLife, and I was wondering if he talked about that. And, hey, we're talking about reunions, Freddie, and all that. But is Olivier going back something that's firing him up?
I thought about that, but I didn't ask him about it. I know he's going to be juiced up, especially getting a chance to go against one of the guys who traded for Brooklyn inside. So you could have a monster game.
Thank you, Nate. Our next question goes to Mary Kate.
Yeah, Miles. I mean, everybody describes you all the time as an athletic freak of nature, and just to look at you, you always look like obviously the picture of health. So my question is this surprising to you that COVID, kind of had this impact on you? Such a young and healthy guy that you're still having to do breathing treatments and things like that.
I mean, I just think people are so caught up in conspiracy and trying to downplay it that they don't actually see that it can be serious in different ways. Talk about how there's not many cases of people dying from it, but that's not all it's about. There's cases of people having mental illnesses, just after effect of COVID, heart problems, lung issues, being hospitalized for days and weeks on end. There's so many things that come with being diagnosed with COVID. I mean, you have to take it seriously. This is something that is going to stay with you for a while. You don't know how long, but you just have to take care of yourself and do what you got to do to stay healthy, whether it's affecting your head, your heart, or your lungs. Do what you can to bounce back now. Take it as seriously as possible. So I can be back correct. Of course, this game and the season, hopefully.
Young, healthy guy like you can be battling with it. I mean, does that send a message? Do you think that sends a message to other people about what this is all about?
I think it should. I don't think anybody should think they're bulletproof for this. That just because you're asymptomatic, that it won't have any effect on you down the line. It's just something new that nobody's ever seen before. So you just have to try to stay away from it if you can. But if you do have it, stay away from others and make sure you try to go to the doctor. Do what you can to keeping this from hospitalizing you or causing further issues for yourself or your family.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kate. Scott Patrick is up.
Hey, Miles. I know Lamar is Lamar, but how disappointing or frustrating was it going back and watching that tape and kind of the defense's performance?
It's always tough watching offense put 40 on you. But watching a guy like that do it, I'm not trying to say a guy like that he's a bad person. He's always been a great person. I've seen him, talk to him, sat down with him. His mother as well. Had the chance to meet her. But he's he's talented. He's athletic. You hate to get beat, but he's athletic enough to escape the pocket and make those plays, and we just got to make those adjustments. We got to come with a plan to keep him from getting his momentum going, and himself out the pocket to find open guys. We just didn't do that. We were able to get to him, but there were still too many plays where he was able to escape, find someone open, or he just didn't have enough pressure on him to be looking at us instead of downfield.
Well, and then as you approach this stretch run and then probably the playoffs, do you feel like the defense needs to elevate its game to help complement what the offense is doing? And how so?
Absolutely. Early on in the season, we were playing our tails off, and we were making some big plays to keep us in the game, and now it's kind of been twisted on its head with the last game with how much they put on the board, and we couldn't get a stop. Not when we needed it. So now we have to come together and make it happen game after game. That's what real elite teams do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We'll take two more. Marla Reitnauer and Nate Ulrich. Marla, go ahead.
Yeah. Miles, this might be a little weird, but Colt always used to be really good in the 2-minute drill. Could you see them throwing that in there just to kind of wear you guys down?
Depending on what they do in 2 minutes. If they're going quick, then that's tough on you as a D lineman. Going upfield, running back, going upfield, running back. But if we're on our P's and Q's and we're able to get them to third down and long, then we can open it up, blitz, or take our chances with the D-line 4-man run.
And one more quick thing about your recovery. Have you had to cut back on your, weightlifting or training or anything just to try to get yourself to game night?
No, I've honestly turned it up, just trying to catch back up to what I feel like I was at before. I want to be progressing, digressing or going backwards. So we'll see. Hopefully it's the right state of mind to have, but I think I'm doing well and getting back to where I was like this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. And the final question goes to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Miles, one more thing about the matchup. We were talking to Chris Kiffin earlier today, and he said he showed you guys the film of the most recent game. The Cardinals had 8 sacks, so that kind of jumps out. Do you see a lot of opportunities there for your group in this matchup?
Yeah, we make it happen. They only got 8 sacks because they earned the right to rush the passer by stopping the run. They did it well, and they're able to get them in downs where they have to throw the ball, and it could be those short check downs. They have to spread it out. So those are long developing plays, and you had guys making plays, especially Reddick when he was on fire. And you see something like that, you're like, hell, what can I make happen?
You seem, a little bit serious, but are you having a really
let's get real serious with this one. I want you to focus on this one, right? So, Mr. Lee, everybody chill for a sec. Because it's serious, right? They got to relax, right? I seen you say the other day, Vlad TV needs to take your off. Can he please take your interviews off of his stick? Now, I'm going to let you answer that. I don't know what's going on with this guy because I never had a problem with Vlad TV. But he's been taking my interviews from my show. And then, my show is all about positivity and life. And he's been taking it and he's been posting it for putting the shit on the title, the clickbait on my and making it look weird. And now he's taking interviews that I did 5 years ago and wording it crazy. And I'm like, what is going on with this guy, Vlad? Because I never had beef with this guy, but I'm really not liking the way he's trying to manipulate my words and make me look crazy out there. This show's about positivity and bringing the light and celebrating. And he's taking my, ripping it off my, and writing fuck on the caption. So I see you talking about him, and so why did you make those remarks about Vlad?
1,000,000%. As a person, I like Vlad as a person. As a business person, I hate Vlad. And the reason I say that is because he's not responsible. He's not he doesn't sit back and say, you know what, Fat Joe did this. Fat Joe had tax problems. I'm not going to ask Fat Joe about his tax problems, right? He doesn't do that. What he does is he does the exact opposite. He sits there and he says, yo, Joe, so what happened? And then you wind up talking about the tax problem. It's not that you tried to do it. It's that he baited you into doing that. So me and Vlad, I spoke to him, and I asked him to come on Drink Champs. And he said, yeah, I'll come on Drink Champs as long as I care drink. And I'm like, wait a minute. You get these brothers to come on your show. You get them inebriated. That means, well, I know you get them inebriated because they did it to me. You get these brothers all this on your show, but you're going to be careful when it comes to you doing somebody else's show. And that's the definition. What is that called? Manipulation. That's the definition of foul nigga. Foul nigga. But no. What's that Dave Dash be saying? Culture vulture. Culture vulture. That's the destination of culture vulture. Because I said, yo, bro, I came on your show plenty of times, and here's the thing about me. I never signed his contract, not once. Not once have I ever signed that contract, bro. I've been scoring since 1996 when Trash made me sign a contract, and I love Trash. But since Trash made me sign a contract, I won't sign that, though. I don't even think I signed a big show or the Coca Vision. I don't even think I signed your show. So I mean, Terry, yeah, that's good. Yeah. You did a great job. But I just don't. And so what happens is when I said that, he understood my plight. Because he's like, damn, Nori's one of the guys that never signed it. So he reached out. I don't think he reached out. His boy Raheem reached out, and I just was like, cool. I don't want no problems. I don't want no smoke. But I'm standing in solidarity with hip hop, and hip hop is banning him, and so I'm gonna ban him as well.
So let me ask you something, Dory. I just want to ask you as a brother, right? You've been doing journalism. Why, if hip hop is standing together against this guy, I've never said nothing wrong about this guy all of a sudden he's releasing 2 interviews of me every day saying about, like, he's trying to get me to argue with him or what. I don't get what his shit is because I never had a problem with him.
What he's doing is trying to get you to react to him. So if you react
right now we stop talking about him.
That's okay. But if you react to him and you say, yo, listen, Vlad, whatever, I didn't like this, I don't like this, whatever it is, you're already in his wet. You're already in his tumbleweed. So, all right, we're talking about him right now. It's great. You know, we don't care. We're great. We're great. We're great. The thing about it is, fuck that. Fuck that. We cannot fold to the people that the people ain't for. If the people ain't for them, we gotta do it. If they Me Too, let's Me Too them too. You know what I'm saying? We have to, like, you know, Russell Simmons is a different breed. Russell Simmons is a different breed. I spoke to Russell Simmons, so we gotta figure that part out. But people like Vlad, where you know you f***ed up the culture, you know all you had to do was say sorry to Louis Farrakhan, and you didn't want to do that. We can't stand next to you. We can't stand by you. We can't stand near you. We can't do nothing.
Right.
Louis Farrakhan.
I'm not staring near him. I'm not beefing. Vlad, don't add extra security to your people. Don't think I'm coming at you, Joe Crack. I'm not. I have no problems with you like that. I'm just saying, please don't take my show is about positivity and uplifting the people. And like Nori says, give them their flowers while they're alive. Please stop taking my shit, ripping it off and putting crazy shit on your headlines to get clicks, because that's not what I'm about. Now, let me ask you something, Nori. And you've been doing some big ones. I've seen Pharrell, I've seen 2 Chainz, I've seen the Goody Mob. What is your dream Champs interview? Your dream. If you had one person to interview.
Big boy. Well, it would be Pun, but I can't bring Pun back. I wish I could bring Pun back. No, I can't do that. So, the thing is, Jay has recognized me. He has recognized me. He has put me in the position to be that guy. And I took over, you know, a couple of things for him. I just went to Atlanta on Jay-Z's dying, and it was beautiful. Did I say that correctly? Beautiful. I'm in the same regions in the big boy floor, you know, but who's the idea? Cherry, Colorado got to them, but my dream interview would be Jay-Z and Dr. Dre. But, nah, I don't want Eminem. I'm just saying.
Come on, don't diss Eminem. Hold up.
I'm not
You're just saying your dream would be Dr. Dre or Jay-Z. Don't let you know,
if they tell me, if either one of them was to say, I can't talk about my ex-wife or I can't talk about such and such, I would decline the interview. Because I just can't. Like I just can't. Who did we just have? We just had Pharrell, right?
Yeah.
Then we had Goody Mob. We got Pharrell tonight. Pharrell tonight on
Who has you?
both TV.
Who have you? Yo, Nori. Who have you? See, my show's different. It's a daily show. We on live. We can't take the talk back. But what celebrity has been the one to call you after an interview the most to be like, yo, could you change that? Could you cut that? Could you edit that?
Every one of them. Besides you, listen, let me just tell you something. My job is the hardest job in the world. Because after I interview them, I leave. BJ is the only man in the world to catch on to what I do. BJ grabbed me after Irv Gotti said some crazy shit. BJ grabbed me and was like, please, Nori, can we edit that? And I, look, get the fuck off of me. Hell no. And I leave. But BJ is probably the only man in the world to catch on to it. You caught on to it.
I know your tricks.
And
I know your tricks.
I just don't want to.
You be working me at dinner. You be interviewing me at dinner. caught Prophet Muscle. He knocked him out.
Perfect as can be. Of course, there's still going to be updates and patches. Welcome back, sports gamers. It's the natural. Got some bad news for you guys today, but it might be some good news depending on how you look at it. Recently, Steel City Interactive came out to state that they have delayed Esports Boxing Club. We were supposed to get the early access at the end of this month in December. We were all kind of waiting on that. It was not going to be the finished game, but just going to be some early access details. But I mean, they pushed back the game, and with good reasons. And if any of you guys have paid attention or seen anything going on with the Cyberpunk game that came out recently, and people were pushing to get that game out, and they kept delaying it. They were working on it, and they finally put it out because there's so much demand. People wanted it now. They're tired of delays, and it was a buggy mess, and people were so upset they're going to get refunds. So I would rather developers push things back. I would rather them wait. I would rather them work on the game and polish, get it right, and have a few delays and have the game come out being as perfect as can be. Of course, there's still going to be updates and patches, and that's any game. This get it out your mind. That games, that's gone. Games are no longer going to be able to come out, release, and not have a patch update. That's gone. Let's think of the past. That's Nintendo. Nowadays, any game that comes out, they're going to have updates and have patches, and that's a good thing. They're making the game better. But getting right into it, ESBC released a statement covering several of the topics meant for their first video blog. It opens with the team confirming they remain committed to transparency. Along with the Scope Esports Boxing Club, their team has grown as well. They got some money injected to the game, which is a good thing, and their team increased from 4 to 13 members. I mean, that's still a small team when you talk about AAA, the games coming out, game development. I mean, there's teams with hundreds of members making AAA sports games. So 13 is still small, but it's good to see that they are really getting some kind of investment, and they're kind of setting their sights high with hopes of creating a true next-gen boxing experience. So because of that, they're going to delay the December early access launch, like I said. The statement further details how the team would like any releases to meet their high expectations. While some parts of the game perform extremely well, others still need development and improvement. So the first development video blog, due to the lockdown, they decided to relay the details of their video blog in a statement. So the first team appreciated the feedback and gameplay trailer reactions. They also know the response to punch speed and adjust that moving forward. So they are hearing you guys. All you guys that post in the comments, when we make articles and put that out, the guys that are reacting on social media, you know, they see that. They see all that. So shout outs, appreciate all you guys been so supportive of this game, and I'm excited for the game, and I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping to get some hands on with the game by the end of the month, but I would rather them push it back and polish and work on the game and make it as dope as possible. So the team clarifies on a few release plans. For now, Esports Boxing Club remains expected to launch on current gen Xbox One and PS4 and PC, as well as next gen. However, still seeing active plans on doing a phase launch, with the first taking place on PC. So additional discussions regarding launch via Xbox Game Preview remain ongoing, so that's not confirmed yet. So they have additional notes for the PC Early Access. Physics version 1 and mechanics implemented with version 2 are on the way. Up to 70% of the career is implemented already. Offline multiplayer available. The online version is implemented, but it's still experimental. That's not done yet. Character customization is in. Steam-enabled uploading, downloading of custom boxers. That is going to be great because they have 21 licensed boxers, but if you want to see those legends like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, all those guys, I love they're going to have custom boxers. And being on PC, you know people are going to put the time and work in to get all the boxes that we want in the game. They have 9 venues. Initial commentary has been added, an ability to edit, create your own career, allowing players to rename trainers, judges, and different abilities. So while this already may be enough for a solid early access launch, the team expresses they are not wanting to make a quick buck off the community and expect only to launch Esports Boxing Club when it reaches their level of expectation. So I applaud them. Because they could have just put out anything just to get people to get some money, and the game not being really ready or in a great state. But they've seen the reactions, they've seen the expectations. People are really hyped for this game. They're excited for this game. I'm excited for the game. We haven't had a great boxing game in a long time, so really excited to have that. And so I'm happy that they're going to work hard and increasing their team to work on the game and deliver the game that we all want. We want a polished, quality boxing title. So that's what they're working on. So shout out to them. So any update I have for the game, anything, we're gonna kind of try to put some more content out for the game on what as far as boxing ratings that we expect. Some thoughts that we have on what we've seen so far. Additional thoughts. We already kind of put out a wish list, but we got more content coming around for Esports Boxing Club. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, tune in to SGO because got more boxing coming your way. If you appreciate our content here at SGO, like this video and subscribe now for more news, tips, reviews, and gameplay from all of your favorite sports games. Now, if you want to take your game to the next level with insider news, free games, and access to our private chat, join our Patreon, the link below, and subscribe to SGO Insider today.
Games of preseason hoops on a Friday night. We got the top 10 right here on NBA.com at number 2. We start with defense, and Malcolm's going to need some talcum after his shot gets rubbed the wrong way by Big Ben, who gets in at number 10 for Philly. On to number 9, and like melted butter on a waffle, LeBron getting in the creases as he releases on that little controlled spin. The King gets in at number 9 for the LA Lakers. At 8, just sit back, relax, and watch Cassius smash this. Stanley on the business end of the oop, and the rookie goes up against Cookie at number 8. Moving along to number 7, and Zion just wants to put on a show, but Brooks a crook as he leaves Williamson shook with this rejection at number 7. At 6, oh, Ben left the gate open, and that's just where Victor's going. Right between the big man's knees to Manis breaking free, and that beauty is good for number 6 for the Indiana Pacers. On to number 5, and Devin's floater is softer than cotton as he gets it to drop in off the glass with class. That's it at number 5. At number 4, Jamal stops like he hit a wall and then gets the shot and the defender to fall. Curry's breaks giving the defender the shakes, and the Denver Nuggets star guard gets in at number 4. On to number 3, and it's Kyrie with the pocket pass, and the mean green machine on the scene getting straight obscene at number 3. Still doing it is Jeff Green. He's in the countdown once again. At number 2, Darius Baisley's got you believing even in the preseason. right there in at number 2, but at number 1. After this oop, he left the game with a back contusion, but we appreciate the highlight infusion. Derek Jones throws it home and claims the throne alone, landing at number 1 on NBA.com.
What's up, y'all? It's Fan here. As obviously by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about the truth about the skill gap in NBA 2K21 Next Gen, and there's no truth in the video. We're going to specifically talk about the 2v2 court, so I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for the drop a like, so if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. Let's try to hit 800 likes in the first 24 hours. And you guys are going to see this is going to be one of the first top games that I've uploaded all year. In general, one of the first gameplays.
This is your news report and your second stimulus check update, your stimulus package update as of very early Saturday morning, December 19th. I wanted to give you a summary of the entirety of Friday because supposedly the politicians, they were working up until midnight. Therefore, I am making this video shortly after midnight. The politicians, they failed to reach yesterday on Friday. Yesterday was the deadline because the politicians, they are working to pass the government funding bill and the stimulus package together at the same time. However, the House and the Senate passed a decided that last night. The party leaders, they insist that the negotiations are going well in spite of the ongoing issues. Mitch McConnell said the talks remain productive. In fact, I am even more optimistic now. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is on her way to Georgia and will begin campaigning for her party's candidates in the runoff elections. Harris will be targeting younger voters who came to Democrats plan to continue their momentum and take control of the Senate this upcoming year. Yesterday, Mike Pence, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell received the COVID-19 vaccine. COVID vaccine. Congress may approve the amount, which is $13 billion. How the funds will be allocated is still being debated. The termination of the Federal Reserve's emergency lending program is another area of disagreement. The Democrats, they're saying that this program, it needs to be extended in order to provide stability to the economy. The Republicans, they're saying that it is unnecessary, and the CARES Act explicitly stated that the program would come to an end on December 31st. Another issue is the stimulus checks and who will be eligible to receive them. The latest development shows that the stimulus checks, they may range GOP leadership that COVID direct assistance to working people is in the COVID relief bill under negotiation and will remain. And on that basis, I will consent to a brief continuing resolution to allow negotiations to conclude. Congress, they say that they're going to be working throughout the weekend to strike a deal on the stimulus package. However, I must point out that several federal programs, they will come to an end before the benefits of the stimulus package, begin. That includes the extension of unemployment benefits under the PUA program. That program, under the CARES Act, that will end on December 31st. When they pass the next stimulus package, it usually takes state governments 2 to 3 weeks to restart unemployment benefits. That means a temporary lapse. Benefits will occur for millions of Americans who are still out of work. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I always strive to give you the truth and provide you with information that can help you plan ahead. And here's some more bad news for you if this hasn't been enough. Republican Senator John Thune said that this stimulus package that passes now will not be a down payment for a future stimulus package, which is what Joe Biden keeps on assuring us. Certain Republicans, they're saying that this stimulus package will be the bridge from now until the economy bounces back as people get vaccinated, so that it will not be a down payment. In political news, the first day of early voting for Georgia's runoff election was on Monday, December 14th. The first day had a bigger turnout than the first day of early voting for the 2020 presidential elections. Around 168,000 Georgians showed up for the polls on Monday, and another 134,000 people voted via absentee ballots. Vice President Mike Pence was in Georgia this past week, urging Republicans to vote. However, President Trump retweeted a supporter's tweet that said Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger would soon be in jail for interfering in the presidential election. Afterwards, Parler, Gab, and other social media sites were flooded by Republican users saying that they're going to boycott the runoff elections. Democrats, they're saying that they are thankful that President Trump is helping their case. Regarding the COVID-19 news, President-elect Joe Biden and incoming First Lady Jill Biden are scheduled to be vaccinated this upcoming Monday. Kamala and Biden, they spoke about the need to take the vaccines publicly to prove to Americans that the vaccine is safe and effective. Dr. Anthony Fauci urged the public to overcome their doubts and get the vaccine as soon as it is available. He reiterated that the speed at which it was approved did not compromise its safety. Fauci said the decision as to whether or not it's safe and effective was not in the hands of the company, nor was it in the hands of the administration. It was in the hands of an independent body to examine the data independently and say it is ready for approval. In current events, with people being encouraged to stay at home, Zoom announced that it will be removing its 40-minute limit on free meetings during the holiday season. Users, they will have unlimited meeting times during Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the last days of Kwanzaa. Zoom said it was a token of our appreciation to our users during an extraordinary time. The company, they made a similar decision in November when users had unlimited meeting times during Thanksgiving. The Northeast was hit with a record-breaking snowstorm this week. The highest snowfalls occurred in Newark Valley in New York and Croydon, New Hampshire. Both recorded 44 inches of snow. Weather forecast predicting another storm for the Northeast and parts of the Midwest. This storm is expected to happen during Christmas Eve and Christmas, which means that
and kind of shake your head saying, I'm going to be calling plays and, for the first time this year. And, of course, it's Cleveland.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic. But, really, it's the next game. It truly is just the next game. It could have happened. We've kind of prepared for this throughout the year in training camp and things like that. So it's just kind of the next game. And it just so happens that, we had a guy go down this year or this week.
In follow to that, are you still going to do the tight ends, or is somebody taking that over?
Well, we have a plan as a staff, how we're organizing things and stuff like that. So I've had Bobby Blick has kind of been my assistant all year, and he knows everything that's going on in the tight end room on a daily basis. So he'll do more of that during the game.
Thank you.
Lombardo. Hey, Freddie, how's it going, man?
Good. How about you?
Good. Just two quick ones for you. You've watched Baker Mayfield this year a little bit, I'm sure. What's the biggest difference and improvement in his game that you've seen going into this week? And second, with Jason testing positive, what's your level of concern with how close you guys interact on a daily basis?
Well, to answer your first question, I would say the biggest thing that Baker's doing a great job of is protecting the football, and that's where it starts at that position. As far as Jason's concerned, we knew what we were getting into when we began this year. Of course, you're always concerned, but you try to do the things necessary and the things that are in your control of, everything everybody else is trying to do. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet away for an extended period of time. Wash your hands constantly, all those sort of things. So after you do all those things, then it's up to the good Lord after that. So, that's how to answer that question. Was I overly concerned? No, I wasn't. To answer your question, Matt, just simply, just because I feel like we all try to do everything on a daily basis to limit that.
Hey, Freddie. Obviously, a lot's happened since we last talked to you. I'm sure you didn't expect to have to talk to us again this week, but I'm just wondering, what has the last 24 to 48 hours kind of been like for you? Because it's obviously a unique situation, and so what was your reaction to Jason getting in and finding out you're being calling plays? What has the last day or two been like for you?
Well, it truly has just been kind of what we normally do. It's just nothing would truly change until we get to Sunday. Jason's still in the Zoom meetings with us and things like that. So really, at the end of the day, on a weekly basis, our game planning for practice, for the games, it's really a group effort, and which it should be. And, so that's continued. Nothing's really changed except for Sunday.
Hey, Freddie. How would you describe Freddie Kitchens, the play caller, the mentality of you when you call plays?
Jordan, I don't get into self-descriptions of things I do and stuff like that. I kind of just try to do the best I can for the team, for our staff, for our players, and try the best of my ability to try to put players in position to make plays. And then so
you just kind of want to move forward and continue on the path that Jason has been going, or are you going to add a few little wrinkles knowing that you operate differently, maybe a little bit in game?
Now, Jordan, you really think we would talk about that right now?
I mean, you're not giving specifics, are you?
No, nothing's changing with our offense. Our offense is our offense, and we're just trying to execute on a consistent basis, truly, and I couldn't be any more truthful than that. Jordan's wanting inside secrets, though.
No, I wanted a very general answer. That's what I wanted.
Freddie, there's
if you want to give inside secrets, I'll take them, by the way.
Freddie, there's also the situation of which quarterback you're going to have. Do you have to draw up two different game plans for that, or do you, without telling us the secrets, do you kind of already know who you're going to be working with on Sunday night?
Well, we don't. I let Coach Judge handle all that stuff. I don't even try to pretend I'm an expert. expert in that area. I don't even pretend that I have the answer.
Does anything change for you, as a play caller? Does anything change for you with whichever guy is the quarterback?
Well, I think, again, you just try to put your players, whoever those players are, in position to make plays and try to keep them in the best position possible to do that. So whoever's in there, that's what we'll try to do.
Tom Rob.
Freddie, do you think that you have any particular insight into the Browns that will help on Sunday?
There's I think I referenced this the other day. There's no two teams the same. So there's a lot of guys that were there when I was there, but there's also a significant number that aren't. Of course, the ones that are there, I know a little bit more about than I would if I wasn't there. So I don't know that you gain a tremendous advantage of that.
I guess what I'm asking is, obviously in the game plan that comes together, but when you're actually calling the plays, how aware are you of the pieces on the field and how they match up in those situations?
Well, Tom, I would say you do that every week. You want to make sure you kind of have a plan for their good players, and you have you offensively can play to your strengths and maybe some of their weaknesses, which I don't know how many weaknesses they have, not too many, but so you do that on a weekly basis, no matter who you're playing. I don't think anything's changing this week just because it's Cleveland, and just because I was there last year. You still do the same thing. You evaluate film. You try to see what, as a staff, you try to come up with a plan that gives you the best chance to be successful.
Thank you.
We'll take two more. Kim Jones.
Hey, Freddie, it's Kim. A week after Arizona had 8 sacks against you, how much of a priority is it to clean some of that up with Myles Garrett and company, coming to town?
Well, protecting the ball and protecting the quarterback is of the utmost of importance for us, as in any offense. That's where it all starts. And a lot of times those two things go hand in hand. So, of course, it's always a priority for us. But, Cleveland's very good up front, and the better you are up front, the more difficult that is. So we've got to do a good job of putting these guys in position to be successful.
Thank you.
Last one here, Pat Leonard. Freddie, just a process question. Like, when halftime comes in the game on Sunday, Jason allowed to, zoom in from his couch and talk to you guys about customers? Like, I really don't know the...
I don't know that we've gotten that far down the road yet. This is such a strange time for everyone. So some of the little intricacies of the rules and stuff like that, but I wouldn't think that would be allowed with the electronics protocol that the NFL emphasizes on a weekly basis. You can't wear an Apple Watch on the field, so I don't know how they would look at that.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to playing against the team that you drafted you, maybe making this a little bit of a revenge game here?
You know what? I haven't really thought about that. We'll see how it goes with DJ. I think for us, this is a really tough opponent. They have the capability to score a lot of points, and we know how good their defense is, especially up front. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and we've got our hands full with them. And we've unfortunately didn't get to practice yesterday, but had a good practice today, and hopefully we can get a little bit more work in tomorrow before the game.
Hey, Cole. How much more work did you get this week than maybe last week when Daniel, had the one injury instead of the two?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we hadn't been out on the field that much. Wednesday was a walkthrough. We were off on Thursday because of all the situations that went on here, and back on the field today. So, we'll see how DJ's feeling. I don't know. But we've just been at home and studying and watching a lot of tape, and One thing I know is that these guys are really good. They rush the passer, can't hold on to the ball, and we'll see where we are tomorrow. Hopefully, we get another workout in tomorrow and go from there.
How did DJ look to you?
He looked good. He looked good to me.
Hey, Colt, how you doing?
Good.
Based on when you played against Seattle, was the game plan not to throw as much because it seemed like you didn't push it downfield, or was that what they were giving you?
The game plan kind of evolved in the Seattle game. I didn't really know where it was going to go, and it ended up being a lot of big personnel. And so that's just kind of how the game evolved. Obviously, we like to take shots. We like to push the ball down the field. But I think during that game, it didn't present itself. We were doing a lot of things on the ball and in big people, and that's what was kind of working.
As a quarterback, is that the easiest way to?
Hey, Jabril. Last year, Baker Mayfield said in an interview that he couldn't believe the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, kind of mocked the pick. Do you believe in making guys eat their words, especially when it's criticism of one of your teammates?
Man, we don't really care about all that. They still got to come down here and put the pads on the play. So, we don't really talk too much. We don't really, get into all the, politics and or whatever. Just put the ball down, let's play.
Bruce.
Jabril, how about for you personally, playing against your old team this week?
It's a big game. It's not a big game because it's my old team. It's a big game because of what's at stake. And it's the next game. So I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to do anything abnormal or anything that I haven't been doing. During the season, just gonna come in, prepare like I've been preparing all year. And try to do my job to the best of my ability.
All right. You feel like you're a different player than the one that the Browns traded to the Giants, Jabril?
Absolutely. I'm being played to my strengths here, and I think the Giants can believe in me, and seeing my potential. So I'm just doing my due diligence to make them look good.
What has this week been like? Obviously, there's a lot going on with the COVID and the quarterback injury. What's this week been like for the Giants?
We just adjust, man. I don't really care, how it has to go. We know what we signed up for before the season. None of the guys in here opted out. However we got to get it, that's how we got to get it. Ain't no excuses. We're not the only team who had, difficult or, abnormal weeks and, still had to go out there and play. So, we're taking the challenge head on. We're going to prepare the best way we can, and we're going to put a good product out there Sunday night.
As we sit here with 3 games left, do you think that these will be the last 3 games, or do you expect there to be a 17th game on for this team?
We take it 1 week at a time. We take care of 1 week at a time. Hopefully the chips fall where they may, but it doesn't do us any good looking past what we need to look past. We got a tough Browns team coming up. It's a lot at stake for them, so we know we're gonna get their best shot. It's a primetime game, AFC North opponent. So that's where our mind is, getting ready for that. Anything else after that, I can't really speak on.
Thank you.
We'll take 2 more, 3 more. Don't leave me, Cannon. Don't leave me.
Jabril, do you remember where you were or who told you about the trade? Did the Browns front office tell you? Did you hear through the media? Do you remember where you were?
I was at home. I was on Twitter, and I seen it. I was actually excited about the trade. I'm thinking, shit, we just got Odell. And then, I keep looking, and I'm not even here no more. And then, Dorsey called me like 15 minutes after that. I had already saw the news already. I actually spoke to Gettleman before I spoke to Dorsey. So, it is what it is. That's the nature of this league, man. Can't take it personal. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the outcome. It's working out for me. I'm back home. I'm comfortable, and I get to play for a historic organization, man. So, I'm not tripping off it one bit.
Cannon.
Jabril, one of my fellow workers covers the Jets, and he asked me to ask this question. He said he's got to write a story about their season. I mean, when you're 13 weeks through the Browns without a win, are you sitting there going, this is hopeless, we're never going to win a game?
Hell nah, you gotta try to get one. You gotta try to get one, man. You can't start thinking like that. Because it's a National Football League. It's great parity. Anybody can be beat any given Sunday. It's just all about execution, man. When things aren't going well, you don't want those negative thoughts, man. You gotta try to at least get one. So that was our whole thing. The ball didn't roll the way we wanted it to, that year, but we definitely were trying to get one.
I mean, was it ever depressing, though?
I wouldn't say depressing, but it sucks, because a lot of the guys in the league, we're used to winning. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. And, when you don't have a win, it definitely makes you self-reflect. But, I wouldn't say depressed. I've known people who dealt with depression and things like that, so I wouldn't, put it that deep. But, it definitely makes you self-reflect.
Thank you. Last one here, Pat Leonard.
And Jabril, just wondering if you're wearing a mask even right now because of what's happened this week. Like, I know you're wearing a mask throughout the building, but even for this interview, just with the positives and stuff that's happened, are you being cautious right now?
Yeah, definitely. We're taking every step. It's unfortunate, but this virus is unpredictable. So we got to do our job and our share to try to limit it as much as possible. Wearing masks or practicing, throughout the building, keeping our spatial awareness and just trying to limit this thing. We don't know how it's gonna go, but hopefully we keep doing our part. It'll be out of here soon.
Carl, obviously the Giants defense, which is one of the best in the NFL, they're going to be up for a challenge because this Browns team is averaging 470 yards a game over their last handful of games, and they can score points in a hurry.
Well, they score points in a hurry, but let's not disguise this as a high-powered offense. They are a powerful offense that plays at a high level. They run the football as well as they pass it. So up front, it's important that the gap responsibility and gap control, because if they don't, Nick Chubb will find an opening, and he's hard to bring down.
Week 15 above the numbers, the Cleveland Browns coming into town. And for my selection of who needs to play above the numbers this week, I'm going with Andrew Thomas. Obviously, it's going to be a challenge going up against Myles Garrett, who uses those long arm stabs, but also makes inside pass rushing moves as well. It's going to come down to Andrew Thomas bending at the knees and at the ankles and being strong with his inside arm and inside leg and maintaining inside leverage, because for those inside moves, what's the first thing to grab? That inside arm and the power leg of that inside leg. Last but not least, when you give him a one-way go, you can always ride the bull and run by the quarterback.
I never thought I'd say this as a receiver, but I love hearing you talk offensive tackle work, man. But yes, Andrew Thomas has to show that athleticism. He has to show that he can keep Myles Garrett at bay and not let him get to the quarterback as much as possible. We all know Myles Garrett is an athlete. He's going to make plays. He's going to be the guy to do those things, but you want to limit his plays, his big playmaking ability. And with that being said, I'm going right to the other side.
There we go.
I'm going with Cam Fleming. Obviously, he's going to be going up against Olivier Vernon, who had a huge game on Monday night. But obviously, Cam has to understand exactly how it is to go against Olivier, do his research, do his work in the film room so that he understands those keys. In every game, as you know, Deal, there's keys, there's tendencies, there's things that he does with his hand, things that you can pick up on as a young player that can help you and be advantageous to you to win the ball game and win your one-on-one matchup, which you know is the name of the game as an offensive lineman.
The key for staying up against Olivier Vernon, staying inside out, and you know that he's not going to bull rush you. He's not going to try to collapse the pocket. He's going to pick a side and pick an edge to get those pressures and to get the quarterback off of the spot. So I like your pick there with Cam Fleming. Obviously, it's an offensive line.
You got your notes in your pocket? That was pretty good.
And last but not least, the player we need to keep below the numbers is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield had a huge game on Monday. He's been playing really well towards the latter part of this football season, really getting those guys in command, understanding where his receivers are, leading that offense. But he still has those plays where he can give the ball over, turn the ball over to the other team, kind of make a bad decision. So when those things happen, the Giants secondary has to pick up on those things, create turnovers, and create big plays so the offense has favorable down and distances and favorable field position for us to be advantageous stages in this game.
They need to collapse the pocket around Baker Mayfield. That's something that showed up in this last game up against the Ravens. That's where you see those balls sail across the middle because he doesn't get his back foot planted to drive on the football.
And if you watch the Baltimore game, a lot of batted balls at their line of scrimmage as well.
Listen, they hang their hat on their run game. They are third in the NFL as far as rushing offense, and this is a team that gets it done on the ground.
Well, they get it done because they've got two excellent running backs, but this guy here, Nick Chubb, is a workhorse, and if you are not gap sound, when I talk about gap sound, you've got to be in your gaps because he can show up in it, and when he shows up in it, it's going to take a group effort. Let's take a look here. Quick jump cut. Here's a guy who got washed out of his gap, and here's a running lane that he goes through. And he's low center of gravity, hard to bring down. So he's got good vision, good explosiveness, and power.
881 yards rushing for Nick Chubb. That's fifth best in the NFL, and he's missed 4 games. So we saw his vision, we saw his quickness, and his ability to make people miss. Now we're going to show his power.
I'll just say this. When you tackle Nick Chubb or attempt, it's got to be a group effort, and you better pack a lunch because he's not going down easy. Let's just take a look here. Just basic goal line run here, power inside run. He gets behind his blockers. Now let's take a look. First guy misses, second guy misses, third guy takes a ride into the end zone. So you've got to have a group effort and gang tackle Nick Chubb and get him to the ground.
All right, let's go to the passing game, and Jarvis Landry has always been a guy that gets a lot of catches, gets a lot of yards, not big explosive plays, and Carl, they're featuring. Last 3 games, he's averaging 7 catches a game and almost 100 yards a game.
Well, Bob, he's good because he can get open. You look at him and you say, well, he's not going to run by anybody, but he knows how to create the space, he knows how to read coverages, and he's sure-handed. Let's take a look. He's here on the outside, and he's going to work the inside defender and break it back out. Just to look at the preciseness of the route. He creates enough space, balls thrown on timing, he catches contested balls.
Let's go to the other side of the ball now because they've got a couple of talented pass rushers, former New York Giant Olivier Vernon and the first-round draft pick Myles Garrett.
Olivier Vernon has just about everything in his toolbox, but the one thing that he does better than anyone else, he just outworks you. It's not always a fancy pass rush. You'll just see him just keep working to the quarterback here. And this is just blue-collar pass rush here. Just pushes, finds the quarterback with a guy on him.
Yeah, Olivier Vernon with 7 sacks so far on the season for the Cleveland Browns. All right, what else about their ability to get pressure?
Well, the guy here, Myles Garrett, he's the guy you've got to pay attention to because he is big, he's powerful, he's fast, and he's got great hands. Here, he lines up wide. The tackle has no shot right here. He lines up wide. You've got to go meet him now. They got 2 guys out wide, but just watch Garrett. He just dips, comes around, gets to the quarterback, and he's relentless when he gets there.
All right, the Giants facing back-to-back #1 overall picks. Kyler Murray last week, Baker Mayfield this week. Who is the bigger challenge? Carl?
Well, if they don't get Baker Mayfield contained, then it will have been double trouble because their loss to Arizona is behind them and they have to focus on Mayfield.
Well, it would have been Kyler Murray because he can run around and he has all the speed and get around the field and everything. But Baker Mayfield has a better running game, so Baker will be the biggest problem.
The Browns have the best rushing attack in the NFL. Howard?
Absolutely. They got 2 great backs. They are able to run the ball. They're very dynamic. They're big guys. They're able to take on blocks. They make yards after contact. These guys are the 2 best tandem backs in the league.
I cannot disagree with you on that one, Howard. They are a complete package when it comes to the running game, and boy, Nick Chubb he's a handful.
Sean, this week, the Giants take on one of your former teams, the Cleveland Browns, and we're going to get to our matchup right away.
Okay.
A place you're very familiar with, the trenches.
Yeah, right here, Leonard Williams versus Joel Bitonio. This Cleveland Browns offensive line has really been the focal point of this offense. They've been the driving force. And Leonard Williams, this could be a great matchup right here, Johnny. Leonard Williams gets a Pro Bowl guard and Joel Bitonio who's playing really well.
And this is going to be a team effort because Leonard Williams will line up all across that line, but Bitonio's got their only excellent interior defensive linemen.
No, they have a bunch of good offensive linemen inside. J.C. Treader at center, Wyatt Teller at right guard is playing phenomenally. He's probably going to go to a Pro Bowl this year as well. And then on the outside, Jedrick Wells, their first-round pick at left tackle, Jack Conklin at right tackle, their big free agent prize. They've done a great job in pass protection, John, but it's all because of the run game. So for Leonard Williams, his matchup and for his mindset is, I've got to stop the run first. I can't worry about getting the quarterback yet because they do a great job with the play action stuff. So eliminating the run game, that has been their team offensively. You can cut that out. Now you're on the right to rush the passer.
Two-time Pro Bowler, and it's that outside zone scheme that they brought over from Minnesota that Dalvin Cook had so much success with. That they've had a lot of success in. So for Leonard Williams and the Giants, what's the key to slowing down that type of run scheme?
Yeah, great question, John. As an offensive line, one of the things we want to do when we're running the outside zone, we have to capture the three technique. What's the three technique? The three technique is the defensive tackle lining up on the outside shoulder of the guard. If you can reach that guy with your guard, you don't need help from the tackle. You can run outside zone all day long. So Leonard Williams, he's got to keep his outside shoulder free. You can't let the guard reach him on a run block. All right, that is how you get outside on the perimeter, the outside zone plays, and then if you can do that, then it allows Blake Martinez to flow. The running back's going to have to cut back into the pursuit.
Carl, let's talk a little bit about Baker Mayfield. He is playing outstanding football over the last couple of weeks. Only one interception. He had that one on Monday night, but he's being much more careful with the football. And he's got subtle movement. Not like Kyler Murray that we saw last week, but enough movement to cause the defense problems.
He's got great pocket intuition, Bob. He's got great instincts. But here's the thing about Baker Mayfield. He's playing with a high level of confidence. And his confidence is really showing in the types of plays that he feels